and welcome to another episode of the Ultimate Decades Challenge. The year is now 1316 and the Great Famine is in full swing. Last year, we saw our twins, Brayden and Frederick Jr., age up into teens, after which our heir Brayden died of a cardiac explosion. Thankfully, Frederick Jr. managed to save him by demanding that the Grim Reaper spare him, and Brayden is now working on his wellness skill to get his emotions under control and perhaps earn a trait change to make sure this doesn't happen again. This year, we are starting off in the Verveers household. As you saw in the intro, Sir Amos Verveers was attacked and killed while on the road to the market. Sir Lucan is the one who found his father's body, and he is just now delivering the news to Miriam and Gamal. Miriam definitely suspects something is off with Lucan's story because it wasn't the first time the two of them went to the market, and the one time Lucan forgot his coin purse and turned back, Amos was attacked and killed, so it's a bit of a strange coincidence. Obviously, she would never question him openly, and right now, I think she might even be a little bit afraid of him. She and her brother don't really have many options at the moment, so she is just going to be biding her time and trying her best to keep caring for the children, especially now that both Gemma and Amos are gone. Everybody is feeling quite upset about the situation, and no one more than little August, who believes that he is now an orphan because he has lost Gemma 2 years ago and now his father. So I think I'm going to have Lucan come and try to comfort him, but Lucan is also in mourning, so I'm not sure if I can. Oh yeah, okay, so Lucan is gonna come and comfort him. Obviously, I think oh gosh, he scared me. What? Okay. I think everybody has figured out that the person who paid to have Amos assassinated is clearly Lucan. There's no doubt about that. It was Lucan. And he is somehow sad now, which I would explain. What? He's scolding him? Well, maybe he's scolding him, telling him that he should be stronger than this, and, you know, telling him, well, I'm going to be taking care of you from now on. Amos wasn't really up to the task anyway, and maybe Lucan is a bit upset that August was attached to Sir Amos, thinking he was his father. So maybe Lucan is having a bit of an issue because he doesn't want to tell the kids that they're his, but he also doesn't like that they thought Sir Amos was their father. Lucan being sad over his father's death, I think, even if it was his fault, is probably because even though he felt like he had to off him to keep the kids, he probably wished there was another solution to the issue. You know, if Sir Amos had just listened to him and not planned to send the kids to Willow Creek, then everything would have been fine. But I think Lucan feels like his father forced his hand, and now it just wasn't his fault. You know, he just had to have his father killed. I think it's more important for Lucan to have his way than to keep the people that he loves. And now they got a bad sentiment. Where is he? Yeah, Auguste feels hurt. So it's sad, but it's also interesting. He wants to be mischievous. Oh boy. So Lucan did all this to keep the kids, and now oh no. Lucan did all this to keep the kids, and he might actually come to regret this because it looks like he might not have the best relationship with them. They might not be all that open to having him as their guardian. Of course, they don't know that he's potentially their father, but August might actually be disappointed if Lucan was his real father, because so far I feel like August has these traits where he would like to be a hero. He's perky, so he's like always too happy. He's a rocket, so he's like super energetic, and he's heroic. So I think August might have been the type of kid to really look up to his what? Yeah, I think August would have been the type to look up to Sir Amos and want to continue his legacy of being a knight, and he probably sees it in a very romanticized way. Oh, there we go. Now they have some good sentiments, I think. Nope. Okay, all the good sentiments are Lucan's side, and August only has a negative sentiment. So that's kind of interesting. That means that it looks like Lucan is like super into having a relationship with these kids, and the kids aren't really reciprocating. Right, so Julien is up here. Oh, he's looking at his dad's bed and he's all sad. Yeah, why not talk to your older brother? I think the two brothers are going to probably lean on each other in this time of grief. Grim, do you mind? Okay, thank you. Goodbye. See you later. I'm sure I'm gonna see you later. Yeah, so I think the brothers are probably going to lean on each other. They've now lost Gemma and Sir Amos. You are my favorite. Yeah, why not? Oh, they really have a great relationship, these two. So I think they are not going to have the same type of relationship as Lucan and Tobias. I think these two, after losing their parents, might bond over their troubles. Why is their relationship going down when they're hugging? That makes no sense to me. All right, so call Julien a worm kisser? No, I don't think so. Talk about sibling. I'm gonna talk to you about yourself. There aren't many interactions that they can do, but he's going to try and comfort his little brother. And his brother does not want to be comforted. Aw, that's kind of sad. Oh, his empathy went up too. Oh, okay. Well, poor August is probably going to go and practice archery. There's an idea. So his father was... It's not working. So August's father was killed by, allegedly, an outlaw. And so him being heroic, I think he is going to start trying to train to become a knight to make sure that this never happens to anyone else again. So he is probably going to start working on becoming stronger, and he is going to want to become a squire as soon as possible so that he can protect the innocent. Meanwhile, poor little Julien here, who didn't want to be comforted by his brother, might want to be comforted by Miriam or not. Why does she have the option to apologize? Well, it doesn't matter. She is going to try to comfort him. Oh, there we go. All right, so maybe Julien is going to be a bit more attached to Miriam. I wasn't able to get the archery working for some reason, so he is now, August is now going to practice horse riding. Someone's calling. Oh, his brother heard about the passing of someone special to you. Well, he was special to you too, Tobias. So I'm assuming that it might be difficult getting letters back and forth between Willow Creek and Henford at the moment. I think Tobias is probably trying to get letters through, and Lucan is either ignoring them or they have not gotten to him yet. And of course, Lucan is just not going to write to Tobias to let him know that their father passed away. He's just going to conveniently forget or say that he was so troubled with his death and he was, busy taking care of the kids, so he just didn't have time to write to Tobias yet. Oh, and August wants to console Lucan about death. That's interesting. And he wants to make a friend. Yeah, that's good. Level up in social skill. Okay. All right, well, I'm gonna let August practice writing a little bit. There wasn't anything else I had planned for the Verveers this year, so we are going to move on to the Baker household now. We are now in the Baker household, and the famine has not been kind to them. They have been struggling to find enough food to feed all of the children, and they have basically been depending on Frederick's generosity. He's been giving them what little his family can spare, hoping the famine would end soon. But unfortunately, things are only getting worse. Frederick and Frederick the Younger are here right now to deliver some food. Several of their neighbors have already succumbed to starvation, and many of those who are still hanging on are now suffering from malnutrition. Because of their weakened state, disease has begun taking lives as well, and unfortunately, several members of the Baker household have come down with a bad case of the flu that has turned into pneumonia. Those of you who watched the rolls in the last episode already know where this is going. Frederick has come to deliver food to them, but what he finds is his sister, her husband, and 2 of their children on their deathbeds, and I just realized they are not currently in their deathbeds. They are just hanging out in front of the house. But that's fine because they need to be out of bed so that I can kill them anyway, so we're gonna leave them here. I've been deliberating whether or not I should plead for them since this is a pretty populous household and none of the Sims here have a story yet, but I decided that I would plead for Cecilia. First of all, because she is one of our Gen 1 Sims, she's Frederick's sister, and also because I want to give the kids a chance to avoid becoming orphans. I did very little research on this, so please do let me know if you have more information, but my understanding is that orphans would be taken in by the church and then placed in homes in the community, where they would sometimes become part of the family, or they could become servants or apprentices. So if Cecilia doesn't make it, then that could be an interesting way of creating different stories for the various Baker children. I'm not sure what would happen to their house in this case. Maybe it would get sold and the profits would be split between the kids. I'm not sure. Let me know if you have any ideas or if you know how this worked back then. If they do end up scattered in different households, I won't be closely following all of them, but I could check in now and then and have a little summary of what's happening with the orphans at the end of each episode or something. I'm not sure. Let's see first what is going to happen. So I'm going to go ahead and have Cecilia pass away, and we are going to try to plead for her. I'm going to select hunger, but technically she died from vengeful deity. Kill off 10 of your Sims via unnatural causes. Oops. Yeah, so she's dying from starvation, but it wasn't actually meant to be starvation. It's more a disease that got worse because of malnutrition, but you know, we're gonna play with the options that we have. This is really sad. Jeez, they have so many children. And of course, the only one who isn't really reacting is Andrio here. He aged up. Is he a klepto or is he evil? Something like that. Oh, he's a kleptomaniac and he's creepy. Yeah, so our creepy little Andrio here just isn't really crying over the loss of his mom, which I guess it tracks. There, right in the doorway to make sure everybody would notice. I'm taking a screenshot of this, but she probably didn't just collapse in the door. Or maybe she did. Maybe Frederick saw that everybody was sick and he was like, we have to get you to the almshouse or to the physician or whatever type of doctor, the witch doctor, I don't know. Or maybe the witch, maybe he wanted to try and save her and she collapsed as they were leaving the house. So, all right, let's try and plead. Wail about Cecilia's demise. Sure, why not? It would have been better if he were feeling confident, but we're going to do this with what we have. Go for it, Frederick. You already lost one sister. Are you going to be able to save the second one? Oh, yeah, Grim really doesn't care. Yeah, I've heard it all before. Oh, no. Okay, well, these are all orphans now, because their dad is going to be following her into the grave in a few minutes. There are so many of them, they're actually blocking Grim's path. Well, while Grim is here, we might as well have him get the other ones too. I'm kind of tempted to plead for all of them. I mean, it almost never succeeds anyways. Look at Jeffrey, it's like he knows he's next, with Grim just standing behind him. New personality trait. As she's passing away, Cecilia realized that she's actually gloomy. You are lucky that you were the first one to go and you didn't have to see your kids pass away as well. All right, well, we tried. It looks like the Baker kids are now officially orphans. I am not going to kill Jeffrey just yet because I don't want the kids to be taken in by social services. So I'm going to send them all to the Abbey first while I figure out what to do with them, and then I'll come back and take care of Jeffrey off screen. For all intents and purposes, for now, we are going to consider poor old Jeffrey, the origin of the bright red hair of the Baker line, to have passed away, along with Catherine and Vincenzo, who are here as well, being reaped. Oh, and you know what? We're gonna... I can't. I have to do it. I have to try pleading. Or, you know, let's get someone else. Andrio. There. Our creepy sim. He's going to plead. Oh. Oh. Oops. Oh, well, Frederick did it anyways. Oh. So, okay. So Andrew can't plead now because Frederick did it preemptively. Okay. Well, he can always try pleading for Vincenzo instead. Or you know what? I'm gonna temporarily move Frederick the Younger into this household, and I am going to kill off Jeffrey right away just so that we can try pleading for him. I really wasn't planning on pleading for all of them, but I always feel bad watching them all cry as Sims pass away. So I'm gonna try, you know, because I almost never succeed anyways. Okay, so here. Andrio right now is the only one who isn't sad. He's feeling energized from being creepy. And yeah, it says down here, creepy Sims have behavior that deviates from what is expected and normal. So he's just feeling energized by all of his family dying. Oh, poor Jeffrey. He lost his true love. It's okay. You're going to join her soon. And here goes another of the Bakers. Man, Vincenzo was such a cutie too. Oh well. We're going to have 5 kids left in the Baker line. So out of 10 pregnancies, 5 made it out alive. Alright, here's creepy Andrio trying to save his dad. Nope. Okay, so 4 out of 4. None of them succeeded. I'm just now realizing how lucky I was to have Frederick be confident in the moment where his twin brother Brayden died, and he actually succeeded in saving him. Oh. Yeah, so, that was really lucky. And Sir Archer Hudson is here. He is one of the King's Knights. I'm not really sure why he decided to show up here. Maybe he's making rounds trying to see what's going on around the realm while the famine is on. Yeah, he doesn't have much good news for his king. Okay, well, that's it. Our 4 deaths in our side household are done. Vasco is the heir, so I am going to have him pick up all of the tombstones. I don't really have a graveyard set up yet. I'm going to have to work on that. I might actually set up the graveyard in the Abbey where I'm going to be sending them while I figure out where to send them. I don't know if... I think I'm not going to keep them together. I might split them up and send them each in a different type of household. And maybe eventually, when he grows up, Vasco can try and take back his father's bakery and sort of try to rebuild what his parents had built. Because I really don't know what happened when a store owner would pass away and leave the kids orphans. I saw more information about nobility and serfs, but not really, I guess we'd say middle class people. So I don't know. Let me know if you guys know what I should do with these guys. For now, I am going to send them to the Abbey. All right, we are now back with our main household, and since Frederick and Frederick Jr. traveled to visit Cecilia, I am going to roll to see if they had a special encounter. So in case you missed the last episode, this is a house rule that I created. It's kind of similar to what Plumbobs and the Past was doing. Basically, I am going to flip a coin to see if we encounter someone or not. Heads means we do, tails means we don't.
Tails, nothing happens. Okay, well, things might be going badly, but at least we're not getting murdered. While I was playing off camera, one thing that happened, which I thought was kind of interesting, is that Gabriella got a supportive dynamic with Noah. So Noah, even though he doesn't really get along with all of his siblings, has a really good relationship with his, well, I guess it's his aunt, Gabriella. So right now everybody is kind of mourning the loss of Cecilia, Jeffrey, Catherine, and Vincenzo. So maybe these two, oh, bye Noah. I was going to say that these two are sort of talking through their grief and, you know, bonding, and they're probably all afraid of how the famine has been going so far and how long it might still last. So maybe everybody is just trying to, you know, keep their spirits up and, aw. See, the family is just sort of hanging out together. I think they're all leaning on each other in these hard times, and why? Why when I'm saying that everything is going well, would you have a difficult dynamic? Stephanie and Esther. Well, this is what the game wants. Esther has a difficult temperament, if I remember correctly. Yeah, she's difficult. So maybe, you know, Stephanie has been helping out with the kids a lot. Maybe she is just finding Esther a bit harder to take care of than the others. In fact, while we're here, today is actually Allison's birthday. We need to roll to see if she makes it to the toddler life stage. So to become a toddler, she needs to avoid 4, 8, and 12. And she just barely makes it. Congratulations, Allison. We are going to get you aged up. Here, why not have Stephanie do it? Oh, icky feeling from generous sim being mean. If you don't like being mean, then why were you mean? And look at Noah here playing a super sad song. Oh, well, it's not that sad. Yeah, it's kind of sad. Okay, here we go. Allison aged up. She was sensitive. She is now difficult. Because of course she is. And she's silly. Okay, well, it's fine. We can live with it. Oh, that's some cute hair. Okay, we can leave that. Look at Stephanie with baby Allison. She's gonna make such a great mom someday. All right, so it is getting pretty late. I'm going to be sending everybody to bed. These poor teens, all sleeping in the same room as their parents and their kid siblings. I should probably start moving beds upstairs, but hot and heavy dreaming. Brayden's dreams bring him to a state of nirvana as they recollect their cherished moments with Fatima Cervantes. It's almost surreal, this ravishing creature that stalks him as he slumbers. How could someone so perfect for them actually exist? What? Though still unsure, there is one proof that soon sheds light to the truth for Brayden. The manifestation of Fatima that dances gracefully within his mind is still but a pale comparison to the true thing. What? Well, okay, that's interesting. So Brayden is really into Fatima from what I can see. Okay, well, I mean, she is a pretty gal. I just wasn't entirely sure. Like, she's definitely a candidate, but since she is from a better off family, I'm not sure her guardian Staunton, who, well, as the rumor goes, is potentially her father. I'm not sure he's going to be a big fan of Brayden being a potential spouse for her. Of course, Quentin could probably vouch for Brayden and convince his dad to give him a chance. So we'll think about it. It does say that we're part of the gentry class, though, because we're stinking rich. But that is not going to hold for very long because eventually we're going to do a renovation, or rather I'm going to replace this lot with a lot that my friend made, and we are going to be poor again. Look at the ghost of Wendell practicing archery. You don't need archery anymore, Wendell. Your job is finished. He's here maybe practicing to protect his family from bandits. I don't know. Frederick woke up at 2 a.m. and he's doing some cleaning. I would take this as him not really being able to sleep with everything that's been happening. You know, he did see his aunt and uncle pass away and two of their children. So he might be a little restless, you know, he's stressed out about the farm not succeeding, you know, that he's not getting any crops going. And I mean Frederick Jr. at the moment, you know, he was pretty invested in helping his father on the farm, and he probably feels a little helpless, or well, probably a bit useless. You know, he wishes he could help, but he can't. So he is going to help in any way that he can find. So Brayden is up too. I guess the twins are going to be helping out around the house while their parents are sleeping. They know everybody is sad with everything that's been happening, so maybe they're just trying to make things a little better for everyone. Right, so Brayden wants to be friendly. I am going to have him come and chat with his brother here. Console about death. Yeah, why not? The twins are going to lean on each other for support. You know, these two probably grew a lot closer after Frederick saved him. Oh, friends in a time of loss. And of course, he is still awed by a life-saving hero. Ask for advice. You know what? Why not? Brayden is going to ask his brother Frederick for advice. You know, he's a bit more into the whole farming thing. Maybe Brayden is realizing that he should have helped his father more. He might feel a little responsible about everything that's happening, even if he really isn't. And have a deep conversation. So I think these two are starting to have a much better relationship. There is, of course, some envy between them. Close. Okay, why not? So Frederick is going to remain envious, of course, but he probably can't help loving his brother. You know, they are twins. They probably have a pretty special bond. Okay, well, it's early morning, and I think I'm going to have the two brothers go and fish to try and help with the food supply. Let's look for a fishing spot. Oh yeah, right, here it is. Okay, so hook, line, and sinker. Frederick Jr. feels at home by the water with his fishing line cast. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. The fish in this area are too crafty for Frederick. Well, the fish in all areas are too crafty for you, man. Aw, look at these two trying to help their family in any way they can by fishing, hoping to bring back some food. Brayden just caught a plumbing upgrade part. You know, Brayden, I'm really glad you're catching stuff, but I wish you would catch fish that we can actually eat. Brayden just caught a socialite. Really, Brayden? Alright, so I am going to have these guys head back home to have some breakfast. So, Frederick, a few days after coming home, of course, comes down with the flu. He is going to spend a few days in bed to try and recover, but I think these past 2 years have been very hard on poor Frederick, and he is having a hard time getting through it. His sister Gemma passed away suddenly, and then he almost lost his son Brayden. Then the famine began. He didn't manage to get any crops growing, so of course he feels responsible for his family's hunger and suffering. And now his older sister Cecilia, who he basically relied on for emotional support, has just passed away, and he has 5 nieces and nephews left as orphans that he wishes he could take in, but with 9 kids in his house right now, he just can't. And so he probably feels like he failed them too. It's also an interesting coincidence that he's sleeping and thinking about death. He might be wondering if he's next, and if he is probably very worried about leaving Rosemary alone with their 8 children and Gabriella left to take care of. But at least Brayden, Frederick, and Stephanie are now teens, so they're going to be able to help out. And of course, Noah is going to play the fiddle all day because that's all he knows how to do. So with Frederick out of sorts, Brayden is clearly going to try and step up, and this means it is time for him to make a bad decision. His good old pal Quentin is going to come over and have a little discussion with him. He has heard from other folks in town that there is a spot in the forest where a few people have managed to go poaching without getting caught. And so they decide the obvious best course of action to help out Brayden's family is to go poaching. Now, Brayden has probably never hunted anything before. He's a decent archer, but he's never actually shot anything other than a hay target. I mean, he's been fishing, but he hasn't been very good at it either. So I bet he's putting on a strong face just to impress Quentin, but in reality, he probably isn't all that crazy about his friend's plan. But you know who wouldn't have qualms about poaching? That's right, cold-blooded Cailan. In all his wisdom, Brayden is going to ask his 10-year-old psychopath of a brother to help them. Hang on, where are you going? Come back here, Cailan. You need to be asked to join a very stupid idea. Here, tell unbelievable story. That's perfect. Okay, so... Oh, he's very confident right now. Of course, because he's knows a little twerp, I am also going to have Noah come over because he is going to threaten to tell their parents if they don't take him with them. And Frederick, you're not part of the story, and he's sick. Oh, well, this is an interesting coincidence since he happened to go to Cecilia's house. Oh boy. Should I roll now or should I roll later? Let's roll now. Let's just get it out of the way. Another house rule designed to kill Sims off that had very dire consequences 2 episodes ago. And he's fine. All right, it's all good. So, Frederick, you are going to go drink some water while these guys plan something bad. Right, so Noah is probably going to hear about their plans to go poaching, and he is going to threaten to tell their parents if they don't take him with them. So our 4 little poachers are going to set off without telling anyone, and if you've seen the results of the famine rolls, you know this can only end in tears. And off they go. What is this? Are you kidding me? This game sometimes. What are you doing? What? Stephanie, stop it. Oh no. She's sick now. She's sick, isn't she? Yeah, she's sick. Oh no. Well, it fits with the story of them catching it from the bakers, but please not Stephanie. Please. Rolling to see if she dies from her fever. 9 again. Okay, no, she's fine. Thank goodness. All right, so our poachers are back. And it turns out they were completely unprepared to face a wild boar. Both Quentin and Noah have been gravely injured, even though you can't tell they had to be carried back unconscious by Brayden and Cailan. I know that's not actually what they're doing, but just pretend with me, okay? We are going to have both of them be victims of a killer rabbit. I am going to plead for both of them, because I feel like Quentin was destined to be Brayden's BFF, and I can't not try to save our little troublemaker Noah. Who knows, maybe after a brush with death, he'll have earned a trait change, and we can remove the bad-natured trait. Oh no! It just immediately killed them! Oh, because they weren't on the lot. Oh no! What have I done? Okay, so after having a little bit of a panic, I realized I could just bring them back using, I think it's Lumpino's Sim Manager mod. So they are now back. Everything is fine. Everything is under control. All right, here we go. So we're going to get everybody over here. Wow, and Grim actually made it instantly. Well, Brayden was feeling very confident right up until his best friend and his brother died. So now I am not sure how this is going to go. Do I have anyone else who's confident?
Frederick Jr. is confident again. You know what? I think it's going to be Frederick. I wanted to have Brayden plead for his best friend, and then I wanted to have Gabriella plead for Noah, but I think our chances will be better if I get Confident Sims to come and do it. Oh, you know what? Maybe Cailan should do it. Yeah, Cailan was actually with them, so I'm going to have Cailan come and demand that Noah, his brother, be spared. Any day now. Any day now. All right, he was sick before now, and it seems to have disappeared, but we're still going to do the roll. Yeah, just doing his confident walk on his way to the Grim Reaper. Don't worry, guys. Cold-blooded Cailan is on the way. He is going to get us all sorted. Here we go. All right. Noah is saved by cold-blooded Cailan. Incredible. And now we are going to have to plead for poor Quentin. And ooh, Noah brought back to life. Oop. Yeah. You guys can stop crying now. All right, so he is now very confident because he commanded death. But we still have poor Quentin here. Oh, Brayden is now very confident. All right, so I guess Noah coming back to life removed his sad buff. So now he is going to be able to plead for Noah? No, I want him to plead for Quentin. You okay there, Grim? So Grim appears to be bugged. So I don't know if I should be resetting Grim or what? Or should I just demand again? Will this unbug him? Okay. So Noah was saved twice? Should I count this as Quentin being saved as well? I'm not sure what's happening to Grim here. He's just sort of hanging out. Okay, well he's been reset and nothing happened except that they all agree that Allison is a stinky little toddler. Okay, well you know what? We had 2 Sims plead and both of them succeeded, so I am just going to reset Quentin again and I am going to bring him back. Alright, here we are. So Quentin is now back and he is feeling confident. We are just going to have to pretend that Brayden saved Quentin's life. I mean, he did successfully plead, which is really surprising. So we got 2 successful pleads in the same episode and oh, nice, Alexander. Right, so we got 2 successful pleads. This means that Brayden and Quentin get to go on to be best friends. If this had been our main family, I think I may have redone it just to actually have him plead for the right sim. But since Quentin is part of the side household, I don't think it really matters. He isn't part of our family tree. So I'm just going to let them have their friendship go on because I do quite like Quentin and his bad influence on Brayden. See, these 2 are just great friends. I love them. I don't even know what their impressions are or their archetypes are. Let's go take a look. So Brayden is a hero and a jester. Yeah, I definitely see that for him. What about Stephanie? She's an everyman. Yeah, that's fine. She doesn't want to stand out. That makes sense for her. Oh, wait, I was forgetting. Oh no, we have to roll for Cailan. So he doesn't look sick anymore, but this is going to be the last sickness roll that I'm going to do because I decided to install the healthcare redux mod and I'm going to let that manage sicknesses and if anyone dies from a sickness because it's been happening so often. I'd rather have something a bit more organic happen in-game than constantly be rolling to see if anyone dies from sickness. So I think that should be a good addition. I didn't put all of the modules in because I saw in other people's games that the pregnancy complications happened really often, and I kind of don't want to make it too hard for myself since we're also rolling to see if mothers and babies pass away. So I feel like those roles sort of already encompass what would have been complications. So I'm not doing that, and I'm not doing the chronic conditions either because from what I've seen in other people's games, it seems like everybody gets a chronic condition. So we're just not going to be using that module. So our last sickness roll before we let the healthcare redux mod take over. If it's a 1, I just can't. Okay, everything's fine. Cold-blooded Cailan, who saved his brother Noah's life, goes on to be his cold-blooded self. So I don't remember if the Sims had their daily meal. I'm gonna assume they did. And I am going to start sending everybody to bed since it is 8 p.m. And in the morning, we are going to see what other tragedies are going to happen to us. Quentin just hanging out around here. I wonder what Rosemary and Frederick think about Brayden's friendship with him. Okay, Quentin, I think you can go home now. So I just checked, and Noah is going to be aging up to a teen next year in 1317. And I've just been thinking a little bit about his life so far, and he hasn't really had it easy, this poor little guy, because he grew up into a child when his grandfather Wendell passed away, and I feel like that sort of defined a good part of him growing up. You know, he would often be around the graveyard, well, the graves of his family, you know, like Shanna, and there was also Shanna's daughter Amy, who had passed away, and I think Noah, that really seemed to hit him hard. So there was a lot of death around him as he was growing up, and maybe that's why he became bad-natured. And now he was attacked by a boar. He almost died and was miraculously saved by Cailan. So maybe Noah grew up with a bit of a gloomy disposition. He was maybe acting out because he thought, you know, we're all going to die anyway, and nothing is really worth living for, and I'll just do whatever I want. And maybe being saved from death is going to have changed his outlook a little. This seems like a good place to end the episode. Even though the year isn't quite finished yet, there's already quite a lot that's happened, so we're going to keep the rest for the next episode. 1316 so far has been our deadliest year to date, with 5 Sims passing away. We had Amos, who was assassinated, and 4 members of the Baker household who succumbed to the famine. I did try to plead for all 4 of them, and as you saw, none of them made it, but I am really glad that we managed to save Noah in our main household. Even if I was kind of mean to him in the past, he's kind of a staple of our main family now, so I am glad that he is the one Sim that Grimm allowed us to save. So thank you very much for watching, and thank you to everybody who has been liking and commenting and subscribing. It really is appreciated. I will be seeing you all in the next one.